Hey everyone, welcome back to Steve's Project Car Garage. My name is Steve and this is my 1969 Triumph Spitfire. Tonight we're going to be working on a few more things to try to get the body and the frame ready to be separated. A couple of things on my punch list are to go ahead and get the steering column disconnected and removed, go ahead and disconnect the brake system including the handbrake, and also go ahead and get the clutch disconnected. So grab yourself a warm cup of coffee and let's get started. Alright, so over here what we have is the clutch master cylinder and the brake master cylinder. And a little spider a little bit underneath there. We'll get rid of him first. And so a while back I had done the clutch on this car, and when I did the clutch I ended up buying this nice handy dandy syringe. And this syringe was great for actually getting the clutch bled, and so I'm just going to use this tonight to go ahead and actually pull the fluid out of each one of these. I'm going to put it into a bottle, and then we'll dispose of it properly. But this is going to be really handy just to kind of make the process and the job a little bit easier. So let's get started. Alright, so that's the clutch. Now obviously the brake reservoir is going to have a lot more in it, so this will probably take a few. Good. I definitely recommend getting one of these syringes if you don't have one in your shop already. I got this, I think, at like a Tractor Supply for just a couple of bucks. But this thing has been a great little tool to have in the tool chest, and like I said, I think it was maybe like $3 or $4. It's super handy for doing this kind of stuff, and it helps make the process a little bit cleaner. So let's go ahead and get these lines disconnected, and we'll go from there. One thing I've mentioned is that on these cars, this is probably one of the most commonly rusted out areas, and if you take a look here you can see why. There's a lot of seepage here. These master cylinders notoriously leak, and they leak horribly, and it ends up eating away at the paint, and then next thing you know, because the paint's been eaten away, he's all rust out. Thankfully on this car, this section is actually not that bad, but on the other side, back on the wall side of things, it's actually pretty bad, so that'll make for some fun work later on for sure. Alright, let's go ahead and get this clutch taken care of. Okay, clutch is down. Let's go ahead and get the front and rear brakes. Alright, so now we're going to get started by disconnecting the steering knuckle. There is a bolt that you're supposed to disconnect and remove, but it's like back here and really hard to get to. So what I'm going to try to do is get this disconnected here, right where it goes into the steering rack, and then hopefully I'll be able to pull the column this way and get better access to it further up. So let's see if I can do this. Hopefully I won't block too much of the view for you guys, but let's see what we can get. definitely loose. As you can see, it's just a very tight spot to get into. So once we get this guy loose, and a few more on the inside, theoretically it should come on out. So let's go ahead and jump on inside the car, and then we'll go from there. All right, you guys, so we got that first part done. Now we're gonna go ahead and take a look and see if we can get the rest of the column out from the inside. There's a couple of brackets that hold the column in place, and then it looks like there's a small plate that we might be able to remove using a couple of Phillips head screws, and maybe we can actually pull the whole thing out, including that steering knuckle, instead of trying to finagle it. So let's give it a shot and see what we can get. All right, let's go for it. Perfect. So now what I need to do is go back on the other side and get the rest of that steering knuckle disconnected, and then I'll be able to just pull it right through the firewall. I'm looking at those screws in there. There's some Phillips head screws, and they just look a little bit sketch. So I don't think I'm gonna fight with those tonight. We'll save that for another day, and we'll just disconnect the knuckle. So this knuckle doesn't really want to come apart too easily and just separate from here. So what I'm going to do is use my really big flathead and maybe try to just give it a little persuasion to open up a little bit, and hopefully it'll just slide on out. Success. It's a cool little bit here about the steering knuckle. It's not in the worst shape, but it'll definitely need to be a good refinish for sure. We'll make sure to throw it in the blasting cabinet and get new grommets and everything, but looks pretty good. Should be able to reuse that. There we go, one steering column. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and see if we can disconnect this e-brake. I don't know how well this is going to go. Ideally, should be able to undo this and pull it out, but I don't know necessarily happen. There's a small cotter pin over on this side. I might be able to get that to come out. And then if I can remove the cotter pin and disconnect it from the actual handle, that would be ideal. Because then I can just easily remove the nut that's actually holding this in place. I'm trying to spin this. It's going to be difficult. But, let's see what we can do. Sweet. That will actually make life a lot easier now. Now realistically, fingers crossed, if I get up underneath the bottom, I should be able to maybe pull this through and be done with the handbrake. So we'll see. See if I can piece this back together real quick so we don't lose anything in the meantime. Sweet. Done. Alright everyone, well that just about does it for tonight. My phone battery's about to die, and honestly I got everything I wanted to do tonight done. I'm super stoked about that. Got the brakes disconnected, got the clutch disconnected, got the handbrake disconnected, got the steering wheel out, and the whole steering column for that matter. So overall tonight was an awesome success. I want to take just a quick second to thank my big brother Paul. He hooked me up with that beautiful Milwaukee ratchet driver, and that is just so cool. So thank you very much. He was tired of watching me struggle with it a little bit, so thank you. And so next week, hopefully, fingers crossed, what I'll be doing is working on welding up some bracing, putting together some bracing for this. I need to put together some sawhorses, and then hopefully the week after that, get this guy ready to get disconnected. So at this point, all that's left is 10 bolts that are holding the shell to the frame, and it should be able to just get disconnected and lift right up. So if you haven't done so already, please definitely hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, go ahead and get those post notifications anytime I post new videos. Again, I always try to wrench on Saturday nights for a little bit once the baby goes to bed, and I like to try to upload videos on Monday morning. So until next time, y'all have a great night.